Pregare. La venido.
Welcome to Between the Joysticks. Press start and then we're off. Nick and John, they've got the sauce. Breaking news and some hot takes. Even if there's some mistakes, Nick is captaining the ship, while John gives thoughts straight from the hip. But when their powers combine, we're all in for a hell of a time. Between the Joysticks, it's the best. Up to 6 things they will address. Tell all your friends and settle in. Between the Joysticks now begins.
Hello there, and welcome to episode 152 of the video game podcast Between the Joysticks. On this episode, you saw what the critics thought. You may have your own opinions on it. Hollow Knight Silksong is out and it's real, and we're going to let our resident expert, Pantheon Conqueror, John, give his full thoughts of the game.
It's too hard.
All that and much more on this episode. But I wanted to start with breaking news.
What was that hand motion you just did? He just made a square with his hands.
Breaking news. And why, if you haven't listened to us before, you should be listening to us. But last week, we did a predictions episode about a Nintendo Direct and a Sony State of Play. We gave you the evidence. We made our predictions. And what happens a week later? We got the announcement. A Nintendo Direct is happening this Friday, September 12th, 1 hour. And we pat ourselves on the back.
I'm reaching. I'm trying. I don't know. I feel. Do I pat myself or do I pat you? You got aggressive with me this morning. You're like, suck my dick, John. There's a Nintendo Direct. I was like,
if you remember last week, I made the prediction that I bet you it's next week, and you said, "Oh yeah, to celebrate 9/11."
Did I?
Yeah, you made that joke. And so here we are. It's happening, John.
Oh, that's fair.
How are you feeling on this? I know we did our predictions. Do you have a hype level attached to a Nintendo Direct at all?
No. I mean, I would be really hyped if a new 3D Mario popped out of nowhere. I just find that very probably going to happen.
The only real mention is that it's ahead of the 40th anniversary of
Right.
Mario. So
I think there will be something Mario related there, but I don't think it's going to be the thing that would get me like, for it. It would, like I mentioned last week, a new collection or, some sort of smaller property.
But if they straight up say Galaxy 3, you would be like, oh my God.
Yeah, that will be my number one most interested. Then you get me to buy a Nintendo Switch very quickly. But I don't think it'll be that. I think this will be, I think the big news out of this one is you guys will hopefully get a Prime date. This is what I think their big thing will be.
But not this year.
But probably like that seems like a January, February type thing.
Yeah.
And then some small, some ports in your standard Nintendo Direct fare, but I'm not expecting anything crazy. Although on the flip side, these September showcase / directs tend to be on the heavier side. So
yeah, I think there'll be something we'll be excited about from Nintendo, and it probably in particular talking about next year. I don't think there's anything they could say about the rest of this year that would be like.
Well, I don't know about you, Nick, but when we make, we've been doing the show for a while now, and like when you come up with a good prediction when we're doing our prediction episodes, do you ever like, God, I just want it to happen to be right?
Yes.
What I really want to happen is a Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo Switch 2 with a Silksong character attached to it. That's why I want that more than anything. Just to be like, I fucking nailed that.
The timing would be perfect.
Oh, I know. Like if they had that much foresight on it, I doubt they would. But
Silksong being as hot as it is,
and small caveat, what a perfect character for Smash that Hornet would be, or the Knight for that matter. But
yeah, they would fit right in for sure.
Yeah.
We'll know by next episode. So obviously, a huge majority of the next episode will be all about that.
Yeah, I wonder how many cozy games do we get?
Farm games.
How long is the? I always forget the name of this series. The Zelda Hyrule Warriors, or what's the next one? How long do we have to spend on that?
That'll probably get a date. Yeah, that'll be here.
Right, yeah, especially with the story implications tying to Tears of the Kingdom and stuff. People will be excited about it, but yeah, cool stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, we love this stuff. So now we just have to wait for Sony to announce the state of play and
follow suit.
we're in good hands. But as the rumor suggested, that breaking news last week, we're on track for that to happen as well. So
Yeah, I think so.
all right. And then the other thing we mentioned, you were gonna call me a PlayStation pal last week.
Yeah.
And the show is called Between the Joysticks.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the left or right joystick? Ooh, he has to think about
Well,
it.
I mean, the immediate thing I was like, okay, you're not left-handed, I'm not left-handed, so that's out. I think I'm left-handed. I think we're both primary right-handed dominant. You're the primary of this relationship. I'm a little
interesting.
I'm a little more squirrely and left-handed, kind of a little squirrely. And
Interesting. You always take this in a different direction than I think about.
What do you? What do you?
I was like, well, John is the gameplay focused guy and controls, right? Controlling a character. That's like left stick, right? That's the
fair.
That's the your Twitch gameplay. I mean, in a shooter, obviously the right stick is key there, but obviously in the games that John likes, left stick is king.
You're playing big immersive things where you got to rotate the cameras,
Right? Where I like I like the scenics games like a Death Stranding 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Cyberpunk, where I'm playing around with the right stick more, going ooh yeah. So that's where I win with it, but
I mean, I think when you combine both of our answers,
right,
we do have the answer.
Okay, good.
I wonder, like, do you know, is left-brained? If you're left-brained, does that mean you're analytical or creative?
Oh God,
I
hear it all the time, and then it just escapes. It goes one ear out the other.
Because I'm left-brained is logical, analytical, so it makes more sense. Because I like the numbers and the
lists,
all that. So
okay. All right. I'm glad we answered that and fairly quickly.
Why did that question pop into your head?
Because
I know you just said it, but like that was just a you question that you
yes.
Okay. I didn't completely ignore you.
So yeah, typically I listen to the episode once to just make sure we don't say something really stupid or there's like some issue. And so listening, I was like, oh yeah, which choice am I?
Oh, are you sure you're listening? Make sure we don't say something really stupid. That happens quite a bit.
Hey, I will prop us out. Last episode was pretty awesome.
Pretty flawless.
Pretty awesome episode. If you're just joining us, please listen to it again because we talk about the predictions.
Please.
and you get to see if we're right. On this upcoming direct and this future state of play. So,
do you think it was awesome because I was in a good mood?
That helps a lot. Yeah. That helps a lot.
Shit.
And then the last thing I wanted to bring up before we get into the meat of the show here is calling John out on something. John?
Happens so much. I'm what? What do you want?
Well, I boot up my PlayStation. I look at my friends list. I go and I see John. And it's like he hasn't played his PlayStation in over a year. We both know that's a lie.
Yeah.
So why do you play offline all the time? For over a year now.
Do you want my true answer is to not get hit up by my Rocket League buddy? Because if he sees I'm online, he's gonna text me our de facto like, hey, I want to play Rocket League. So we just send did it reboot again? Should I keep talking?
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Okay. Our computers are being stupid today, folks. But I have a hard time telling people what I actually want, and so I will say yes every time to that, and just be like, okay, and then I'll turn off what I'm doing.
So I figured that as much, but and early, if you've been with us for a long time, this is no shocker to you. You've talked about Rocket League quite a few times. It was your top game for a few years here. That's still happening.
Well, let's. I'm pulling up my phone. Let's see. There's a rocket. That was Friday at 10. We're scrolling. There's a rocket. That was the Tuesday prior. There's a rocket. So yeah, it's still a thing. It's not nearly as prevalent as it used to be. It used to be an everyday occurrence, but now it's like we probably went a good 4 or 5 months without playing at all. Like I would say that was like a month ago to the previous 6 months, but it pops up every now and then. Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, but I mean, and then I don't know. I just
get them into like Borderlands 4.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of having to schedule my time around others. Like, that's the biggest thing. I don't know. And now I'm sitting down to play Borderlands and like, I'm hungry. I got to step up. Hey, man, I'll be back. Give me 10 minutes. And then I want to go smoke. And then it's another 10 minutes. And then my dogs are barking. It's just, I'm making excuses. It's just.
I hear you. Fine.
Friends
it's a
are
valid reason.
Friends are for the birds. Social lives.
It's fine.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
But yes, I have been not off.
Yeah, you haven't played PlayStation in a year. I don't know how you're playing.
We'll see what the end of the year recap looks like. It's going to be crazy.
All right, well, that's all I got. If you're ready, we can get into the show and get into that Hollow Knight burning discussion.
I'm itching.
All right. This is how the show works. John and I both can bring up to 3 things to talk about for a total of 6 things. It can be a video game we're playing, a news item. It can be a topic, but it can also be an email from you, the listener. That email address is betweenthejoysticks@gmail.com. Our Twitter account is @joystickspod. Follow us there for updates on the show so you can see us gloat when we're right about something. And finally, you can comment on our YouTube page. That's Between the Joysticks. Any of those things, we bring it and we talk about it. And let's get into it.
Yeah.
I don't know where you want to start with this, John.
I don't know either, man. I think we kind of just got to jump in head first and just start picking at stuff. And so, but I think, obviously everybody in the internet knows that Hollow Knight Silksong is finally out. It's a game that has been it actually exists. Real quick, it's the follow-up to Hollow Knight, which came out back in, I believe, 2018. One of the best modern Metroidvanias out there. You got a dedicated fan base to the lore, to the look of it, to the gameplay of it. The characters are cute and funny, but there's also a direness and a dreariness to the world that's excellently written. And yours truly, as Nick mentioned, fell in love with it. And, got the platinum, which I never thought would have been possible when I first booted up that game. But, I just wanted to devour every inch of it. And so knowing that this game was going to come out was obviously something I was very much looking forward to. And, it first got announced for release in 2021. So here we are 4 years later, kind of just been being dragged along, but happy to report that it is real, it is here, and it's exceeding everybody's expectations. But that's not to say that it's not without a little bit of drama, which we'll get into here in a second. But I wanted to just go over real quick just how dominant this game was. And let me ask you real quick, Nick, did you expect anywhere near this level of blowing up the internet, popularity, however you want to phrase it towards this game? Like, did you expect it to do this level of sucking up all the oxygen in the room?
It's a weird game to follow in that regards. I think I remember in the Schreier article, he said it sold 15 million, but I think by 2019 it was only at 3.5-4 million.
It's just constant.
So it's sold a lot, and I think a lot of it's just this fervor for whatever reason. People just coming across it naturally. This is a very popular video game type, right? The side-scrolling Metroidvania, and obviously any list you get where you're like, what are the top ones? This Hollow Knight's number one, right? I've not seen a list where Hollow Knight, unless you go really old.
Yeah, if you're including all of them, you might get some
Super
Metroid and Symphony of the Night, which are the two namesake of the genre. Yeah,
right. So I knew it was hyped. Obviously, there's a fervor around it because there's been no updates, which maybe helps contribute to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The silence around this game, just going into every showcase especially for Nintendo and Xbox after it appeared there was insane. Has Keighley ever had to get in front of a press conference and be like, "Hey guys, this game's not going to be here," like he has with Silksong? Yeah. I can't think of one.
It's just so strange that it was a $20 release indie game that did it.
Right. And then it gets this crazy trailer with a crazy quick release date where other indie developers, as we talked about, are getting out of the way. I don't know. And I obviously I'm the weird person to ask because I just don't understand the game as well as other people, right? I bounced off of Hollow Knight just like I bounced off of Elden Ring, and these are kind of like not bounced off of Elden Ring, but that type of game that I don't really know what makes. I kind of get a vibe here that it has a lot to do with the atmosphere and the things that are like Souls, like the difficulty, the whole bench system and things like that. and it doesn't hold your hand at all. And then obviously super tight gameplay. I mean, that helps. You know, a great one of these games that plays this well is a huge thing. But to see what this did, I mean, rumors are they've probably done 5 million at this point already.
Probably. I mean, so as of the all-time Steam peak is 587,000, with 300,000 playing right now. You know, and that's just PC. So I would say that's probably accurate when you include it all. Yeah, probably somewhere around there.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I asked that question because as a Uber fan, I also did not see this level of fervor occurring, and it's been a joy to watch. Honestly, it kind of feels like, you know, one of my kids is doing super well at school or something where they're just the star of the show and everybody wants to go see them.
I'm kind of. That's interesting because I would think you'd be like, well, this is my darling, right? This is like, you know, like when you like a really good indie band and then they become mainstream and you're like, oh, I don't like them. I liked them when they were cooler. Yeah. And now Silksong is obviously very mainstream.
It's validation, I think, and like, yeah, there is a large part of me that rejects, you know, uber popular things, but it's as of now, and Team Cherry will be this way probably for at least the next 7 years because that'll probably be the next time they release a game. But it's incredibly true to what I love about it, right? It's not it's not changing itself. It's not kowtowing to what the masses want. It's like, no, it's more of the same, and that's why, you know, it feels like, I don't know, like I said, you know, somebody that I've recognized as being amazing for a while and just need other people to see it, and like they did now. So it's just a little bit of validation, but. So kind of that's a little bit of the backstory of it. It's reached almost 600,000 concurrents. It's selling like crazy. All the positive vibes. But that's not to say that the game is without controversy. One of the biggest stories of this game since it's been released is, I guess, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, the negativity towards it, specifically with difficulty and runbacks and things like that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a good place to start this conversation, or at least to continue this conversation. And just to put it out there, this game is currently sitting at a 92 on OpenCritic. Because of the way that they released it as well, with not giving reviews codes, it has been a weird rollout with that as well. It was sitting at 100 for a second on OpenCritic, which was something just wild to see. But it's been continuously dropping as it just gets its, you know, bevy of 9s, because it's getting a ton of 9s, a lot of 10s, 2 scores under a 9. So, you know, it's what it needs to be. But I think there's a conversation to be had, you know, again, about the amount of people that are going, this game is not very well balanced. It's too hard. It's too punishing. The developers didn't consider, you know, bench placements in the right places to take breaks before bosses and things like that to continue the pacing going forward. And this is a hard conversation, I guess, to have with you, Nick, because...
Well, it's interesting because I did get pretty far in Hollow Knight, and I remember the bench thing. I didn't, obviously, what you're talking about is when you die, you go back to the last bench you're at, and that could be a distance between, you know, a big boss or if you just, I don't know, you wandered for a while and you just didn't come across one, right? And then you got to be like, oh, fuck, I got to make my way all the way to this point. Or if you're facing a very difficult enemy like the Watcher Knights, you have to constantly go, not only do you have to get to the boss to do the fight, you have to do all the platforming and get to that location where they're located from the last bench you're at. And which is weird because, again, that was prevalent in the first game, but it's weird that you know, and obviously gaming tastes change over 7 years. That it's weird that is coming up again when it was such a staple in the original.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I do find it a little odd that it has been, and you know, this could just be a very small vocal minority, I'm not sure, that are latching onto this idea. And I think there's a easy way to kind of explain it in the sense that this is just a property, game style, whatever you want to call it, that was not designed for the masses. It's designed, you know, it was kind of designed for the people who know what Metroidvanias are, who are okay with retrying things and going and you know, establishing the best path forward or learning movesets as much as they can. Where this game blew up so big and it got so many people playing it at the very start of it, I think it was just a little too big for its britches.
What is your thought on specifically the bench thing? You're a person that has, you talked about how Liza P respects your time in a certain way by putting souls, quote unquote, by the boss gate. Respecting your time has been a theme on this show as we are aging gamers here.
Yeah.
What do you think about the bench system in general? Are you giving it a pass because
I know this is gonna be. I'm gonna trap myself with this
because and that's fine. Like I said, everyone has a game where that friction is less based on the game, right? Like if you love Hollow Knight and you love Silksong, fuck yeah, I don't care. I'll do this same run 1,000 times. Whereas the game I'm not enjoying as much. Well, maybe I fall off because of if they had the same mechanic. So I was curious where you land on it.
It's hard because I love it.
Yeah.
But it's hard to talk and explain when you know my preferences on things. But I think, a couple things are true. First and foremost, if I think about a game respecting my time, and I'm just going to pull up insert generic open world game. Right? If I have to travel from point A to point B, I get to point B, I can now get my quest giver and go what I need to do. If I had to redo that part, like that traveling part, this is bullshit. But the moment, like the movement that is, and you asked earlier, or you were mentioning earlier in the show, like what is it about specifically about Hollow Knight that sets it apart, that gets it to that number one level? And I think there's obviously a million things that get incorporated into that. But it's the movement. It's the move set that this character has. Moving around as Hornet pretty fucking quickly is a joy immediately. Where I'm bouncing around, she what's the word when you like grab a ledge and launch yourself up to it? There's a specific word for it. I'm not coming up with it. Yeah. But like, so like, she doesn't just climb up. You can vault, like, right? You press jump at the right time. She's vaulting.
That's in the Arkham series. I love it.
It's great. And, when you unlock her dash, it does the thing where you hold the dash, but now she's sprinting and she sprints fast. And then that unlocks, if you jump while you're sprinting you jump further and you have now a different move. Like everything about that journey from point A to point B is great. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I think there is a misunderstanding about how these games are kind of sometimes meant to be played. I think there's nothing wrong if you want to go through every single time you're doing that run back, you're killing every single enemy. All power to you. But I don't think it's incredibly not necessary. You're not getting XP in this game. You're not even getting a lot of currency from this type of stuff. So if I need to run to a boss, I then almost turn it into a platforming challenge, right? Now I'm just bouncing. I can go jump off that wall, get up there. I'm literally at the part right now in the game that people have like kind of championed as like the shitty run back boss fight. And I can do it in about 45 seconds.
So you mentioned that. How much do you think you've played it?
About 12 hours in.
Okay.
And so I think I'm coming up to the end of Act 1, and there's a boss that this is the one, and I can do the run back, and again, I'm avoiding enemies in about 30 to 40 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes maybe I fuck up, right? and I have to, go back to the bench or hit a couple enemies to reheal, because it obviously Hollow Knight, when you hit enemies, you fill up a bar that you can use to heal, and so it kind of feeds into itself. But I think it just inevitably comes down to people kind of not necessarily understanding maybe what a Metroidvania truly is when you break it down. And I've grown accustomed to a lot of games that I like the retrying, right? I love roguelikes, Hades, Binding of Isaac, these things where you're just kind of doing the same thing again and again and again, but you're learning or you're getting new movesets and things like that. And so
you think this is just people getting, probably maybe even haven't played the first one, but are just getting caught up in this wave of excitement, this fervor for this game, and want to kind of be in the moment and are jumping in for the first time and then hitting the shortcomings that the franchise has always had.
Yeah, and
shortcomings I'll put in quotes. That's not.
Yeah, and I think, and it's again, I don't want to sound like I'm the best, but like I also do know, and I am a Hollow Knight freak, so like I'm very, very familiar with the movements that like I can control this character exactly how I want at all times. Platinuming that first game was a fucking trial, and so I'm way more equipped for this than most people. So it's a hard thing to really kind of like actually sit back and evaluate unbiasedly. I don't think that's a word, but it is today. But I do think it's your standard internet people kind of freaking out.
Okay.
But we can kind of move on.
Well, about the difficulty is the game specifically. It sounds like because they did patch it as we're talking here, specifically the early game. And again, I know as you just said, you're as expert as they come at Hollow Knight. So you probably won't see these things. But did you find those early moments difficult? Because I heard and I saw it when I was watching a friend play, and then I saw other people playing. Like, I know when you start the game with 5 health, and when you touch the body of a boss, you lose 2, which hurts big time, right?
Yeah.
So do you think this early game is too punishing? Do you think the onboarding in the original Hollow Knight was maybe a little easier than this?
100%. I can absolutely answer that with certainty. The first game is easier, especially in the early parts of it. You're meant to get eased into it a little bit more. But I personally think it's expertly balanced. The biggest change that they've kind of had on that front, yes, you're taking more damage typically. First off, let me just make the caveat. There's a lot of bosses in the first Hollow Knight that take 2 damage from you. Like, that's just the thing. That's also there. But is the healing system. In Hollow Knight 1, you would hold circle and you'd start absorbing your souls or whatever, and you could heal one thing at a time, and so you had to be strategic with it, right?
Right.
And you had to be on the ground.
Yes, I remember.
And in this one, you can heal in the air. You press circle once. You don't have to hold it. She heals way quicker, and she does 3 every time. And you're meant to be more aggressive in this one, so you're constantly recharging your meters. And the amount of times that I've gotten into a fight or a boss fight not at 100% health or whatever, and I've gone, oh man, this might not work. I can immediately get in there, slash. Cool, I'm full again. I can heal up real quick, and I can then start to dissect the fight a little bit more. But there was one specific fight. It's not even a boss. It's like a big hulking ant, and I think people who have played it will know what I'm talking about. That's got a big club, and he kicked my shit in for a while. And then I found out, there's a different path that gives me a dash. Now I have a dash and I can beat this guy. Where I also saw people online be like, this guy took me 35 tries to beat. This is ridiculous. I was like, well, yeah, but again, how much do you know about how this works? So,
do you think you playing 9 Souls helped?
Oh, yeah, 9 Souls is way harder than this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, and that's a little bit different because it's got the parry first fighting as opposed to, I think, evasive first fighting. Okay. You can parry in this game, but it's literally just you hit the attack button the same time they do.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I am if I have a inherent skill set in games, it is 2D, fast-paced combat games. Like that's probably my best skill set outside of like. You want to get real deep, we could talk DDR and Guitar Hero and stuff. But I don't think we're ready for that conversation. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if you're thinking about picking it up, if you want to try the series out, I do think it's definitely a good idea. Get the first one first, see if it's something you even want to jump into, and then understand what a Metroidvania is. I think anybody listening to the show knows that. And understand that, like, if this wasn't the conversation we were having right now, the conversation we would be having right now is the game too easy? That's the other side of this coin. One of those two things was going to happen when you get this many people involved in it.
Sure.
It's just, it is what it is.
So your impressions this early on, this is living up to, again, as we got on last episode, this is your number one most anticipated game up to this point. Was Silksong.
I don't think there's anything that this game could do from this standpoint forward that would give it anything less than a 10. Like I can, there's nothing it could do. It's perfect. And I can.
Well, we'll see what you say. I hear there's some zones that are pretty intense.
Yeah, listen. Yes, there's Bile Water is the one. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm a Dark Souls 1 player, right? And so I know about. Oh shit! I should know the name of the place.
Yeah, what was it?
Oh man,
I even know. You'll say it.
Blighttown. And that area fucking sucked, but I love Dark Souls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm
just asking.
I know. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just passionate about it because, look, I'm not gonna boot up Myst and be mad that the puzzles are too hard. I'm not gonna boot up Bloodborne and go, these boss fights are difficult. It's the age-old conversation with difficulty. Like, should games be accessible? Yes. Should people, whoever wants to play it, be able to play it? Sure. but that doesn't absolve any accountability towards the individual. You can't just get mad at the person that made the game and say, you guys made this too hard. It's like, no, we made it the way we wanted it to be.
Right. And again, I mean, we're in quote unquote the honeymoon phase, right? People are just starting to play it. Like, do we need to like react instantly to the game? Can people just take it in?
Yeah.
And just let it breathe for a little bit before making giant assumptions about the game and about the difficulty, about everything. It's like,
it does just speak volumes though, man, that like I don't think anybody, listen, Hollow Knight it doesn't have to be your cup of tea. It's not Nick's cup of tea. That's fine. Nick's not out here saying this game is trash. Like, what is this? Like, it just goes to show that one of the top 5 releases of the year, and then you're just gonna always have people being shitty about it. It just sucks, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But flip this conversation a little bit, going back to what you said about how I feel about the game. Yes, the things I loved about Hollow Knight, the movement, the art style, the lore. It's all there, if not improved in every single way. Adding the ability for Hornet to actually talk could have been a dangerous type of thing to do and would like mess with the vibe maybe a little bit. Maybe part of the charm of the first one was that Hollow Knight was a silent protagonist. But, the dialogue that she has is perfect for her character. She's dry and kind of, just blunt with everybody, but it fits the world perfectly. And when you kind of start to understand the narrative that's happening in Farloom, which is the name of the world, it just all feeds into itself wonderfully. The art style is gorgeous. I think this is, I don't know if you feel the same way, Nick, but like every time I watch a Pixar movie, I go, this is the top of Pixar. Like, animation can't get better than this, right? And then you watch the next one and you go, wait a minute. And you look up at the other one and you go, now this does look like trash.
Right.
I think this did the same thing with Hollow Knight, where it's like you look at the second one and it's like, it looks more like the same, until you look at the first one and realize just how gorgeous it is.
Okay.
Hornet is a joy of a character to move. Again, I would say that I would put this move set up against any other game.
But the down attack doesn't go down anymore.
The down attack doesn't go down anymore. And, I will allow, people to kind of think like, I wish I had it. And sometimes I wish I had it too. But I believe in Team Cherry's ability to the way that they design their fights and their enemies and their bosses and their movesets for those enemies. Like, it was a very calculated decision. And as I've progressed, like I am, compared to how I was at it, like hour 2 and 3 versus now, like, yeah, it's crazy how much better. And even thinking back to the first one, like I never really pogoed through the game. It wasn't until I got to the boss rush Pantheon that I was like, I have to pogo shit now and like learn how to do it and do it in a way where I'm not losing health in all these fights so that I can, get to where I need to go. And so, and then not only does she pogo, she has their diagonal pogo now, but you can you equip these different crests, which change the way that you attack, right? So she's got a needle and you can you start off poking people like you would think, but then you can unlock what's called the Hunter's Crest, and it turns your poke into more of a slow slash, but it incorporates in your dash ability. If you attack while you're running, she'll do like an upward swipe with her claws, and then that launches you into the air, like positioning you for another, like a diagonal pogo, and just, these beautiful combos that you can kind of pull off. It's again, that's why I'm confident in saying barring, I don't know. Barring, I don't think there's a thing I can think of that would put it less than a 10 for me.
Okay.
The music's top notch. It's so good, man. I love it. It's probably one of those releases that I need to cherish even more than I am currently cherishing it, because, it's not often that you love.
So reflective here.
I know, but I don't get these anymore. Where it's like I fell in love with the first thing of a property, and it exceeds, like, God of War Ragnarok, Last of Us 2 are probably the only other two I can really think of that took something that I already thought was a 10 and then blew it out of the water again. And maybe blew it out of the water is maybe a little bit of exaggeration, but it. Team Cherry deserves the applause. You can tell their passion just oozes through this world, and I'm excited to unlock more abilities and see more of it. Like, it feels like I'm approaching the end of the game, but I know that I'm absolutely not.
No.
Which is a great
Have you
feeling
seen
to
how
have.
long it's taken some people?
Yeah, and I've seen full blown out maps and go, what the fuck?
Yeah, there you go.
And
Yeah. So you're
It's
just getting started.
I know, and so everything I've ever said about respecting my time and let me move on, it gets a pass on this one for me. But it's
No, you're touching on there are video games that we like, and then there are video games that are just
like I'd probably get a Hollow Knight tattoo,
right?
I'm
we gush about, and there are those type of games, the ones that just drive you insane and you fall in love with, and you maybe have a Hollow Knight Lego at your desk at work.
Yep.
There's games like that, and they come so rarely that you're right. It's almost like just slow down and enjoy it, because 2 weeks from now you may be done with it completely, and then you're just waiting for the next thing. And
I had that moment, I've had that moment a couple times, I think, playing it, where I go okay, remember this. This is my first playthrough. This is the special one. Just slow down, blah blah blah. Because I will have to. I will go for the platinum on this one, and I will get it. I can promise you that. But there's a couple trophies where you're like, man, okay, 5 hour. You got to beat it in under 5 hours, which is kind of intimidating. I'm sure it's easily doable, and then you got to do the 30-hour 100% run. So I'm gonna get as good at this one as I got at the first one, but yeah, it's just slow down, treasure it, and I want to see that 92 go up a little bit. Because I was feeling real good with my fantasy team for a second.
All right.
But
well, I think we're ready to move on to the other part of this equation with an email. If you're good.
Oh, we got an email? Yeah.
If you're good, we can.
Yeah.
Do you have any more impressions to talk about? But there's.
Did I mention the music? The music's so good.
Yeah, I got that vibe just from the trailer.
Everybody knows that. Yeah, it's great. Oh, if I would. Maybe some slight nitpicks.
Okay, here we go.
Another thing that people kind of complain about a little bit is that bosses' rewards are weak. Yeah. It sucks when you...
I heard that with the currency is another thing they addressed in the patch.
The currency, I'm okay. The currency is another one where I think people are just being a little crazy. Again, not maybe understanding how these work, because they even put in the game you get shards, which go towards your tools, which are new abilities type things, and then you have rosaries, which are your shop stuff. And the rosaries are the important ones that everybody wants, and because that gets you new things. And people are like, well, I lost them all because I died, which is a Souls thing. But they have these things throughout the world where you can deposit 80 of them and it puts them into a consumable item, so you no longer lose it. So it's I always have rosaries. I always have them because every once in a while we're talking about how benches are important. You can come across a bench for whatever reason, they make you pay for them in this game, which is fine. Whatever, it's the decision that they wanted to make.
Every time?
Not every time. No, not every time. But certain ones. And, people are like, I don't have enough, and now I can't sit down and stuff. It's it sounds like you just didn't play 'em, bud. But
good.
Yeah, I mean, but I never really had a problem with it. I will say it seemed a little steep in the beginning of the game, but that's how these games work again. You shouldn't be expected to go to the first shop and just buy everything immediately.
Right,
and then,
right.
That's not how video games work.
And again, this game is longer by a lot than you would think. That you will have plenty of time to earn enough currency to go back and buy everything,
Use your map. You get markers you can place, figure that out. And but it does I do think it does kind of suck when you're beating these little bugs and they're giving you rosaries, and then you get to a boss fight that you've lost 10 times and you finally get them and they drop nothing. And you're just like, well, so I guess my reward is to continue, which is great, but that is a little discouraging sometimes. But you also can't have 40 plus bosses and then break your economy by giving those out too. So maybe a decision. But
Very
all right,
true.
Yeah, email time.
All right, so we have an email from pal of the show, Freddie B.
Hey,
titled Silksong and Pricing. So we know where this is going.
Okay.
Hey guys, hope the last days of summers are treating you well. Obviously, Silksong has taken the video game world by storm. John, I hope it's everything you wanted. And there's been a really interesting conversation popping up that coincides with an email I sent in previously about video game pricing. So I'm sure you've seen some developers are upset with Silksong's pricing, namely that it's not enough and they need to charge more or they won't be able to sell their own games for enough money. Now, I'm not saying all developers are being greedy, but I think the multiple devs making their statement, it's hard for me not to at least look at these comments with a bit of side eye. It's not Team Cherry's responsibility to sell their games for more so that you can as well, and yet some devs are trying to coerce them to do so to do just that instead of letting their game stand up to the value they think they're worth. I also think there's a larger question that you broached before, which is, are video games getting too expensive or are developers wanting too much money? I'd love to hear both your thoughts on this topic and the conversations it sparked. Also, side note, previously you guys recommended me to watch Conclave, and I did this past weekend. What a movie. I was absolutely enthralled from beginning to end. Side note, John previously remarked not knowing what being a space marine is like. Let me paint this picture for you. Imagine playing football with kindergartners. That's what it feels like playing Space Marine 2.
Love that.
Thanks again, guys, for the great show. Freddie B.
Billy Madison dodgeball scene.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, we kind of joked about this a little bit when you jokingly asked me about the price for Shinobi Art of Vengeance, and we joked a little bit, and I did say, well, Silksong probably should be charging more, but that's not my decision to make.
Yep.
So what do you think? I know we've talked off the air about this topic, but where do you want to start with this question?
Oh boy. I guess we can start. First off, I absolutely agree, Freddie. It is not Team Cherry's responsibility to worry about other companies. They are their own company with their own goals and their own pocketbooks, and they can do what they want. Now, it is an extremely unique scenario, as we've discussed. They created the first game, made so much money, they didn't need to worry about it. They're a small team to begin with. They didn't have any overhead. They worked out of their – there's so many factors that they don't have to worry about, really even making a profit. They know they're going to. There's very few products that can get released nowadays that just have a guaranteed net positive on them, and this is absolutely one of those. So I understand other companies kind of coming and being like, that breaks our – economy. We can't do it that way. Well, unfortunately, I think it's, yes, your economy is broken, but it's the general economy that's broken. We've talked about that on the show forever. And so, I would almost say it's the flip side where charging $20 for this game sends a message that things aren't priced accordingly. And you can't use a generational game to really use that as a benchmark anyway, right? Like, again, this was sitting at 100 on OpenCritic for a little bit. It's at 92 right now. It's the second highest reviewed game of the year, only behind Shujinku, which is not a game that anybody's played. So to say that you guys can't do that so we can sell our middling game, it's not how any type of business is done. And why aren't we going at Epic to saying, how are you guys charging $0 for Fortnite? You're taking all of our players away. How are we supposed to get market share? It's like, it's not their fucking problem.
Right.
Make a better game. And, it's hard for me to feel. I don't think anybody should feel bad for any other developer that's just like, well, we can't charge $30 now. Okay. Either improve the game so that people will pay $30 for it, or lessen it and figure out your economics of the situation a little bit better. But
right.
If you need 500 people to ship a great game, but if I don't know how many people worked on Prince of Persia Lost Crown, but it's probably a couple hundred. Their balance sheet books are way different, but it's not on Team Cherry to fix that problem. That's why they probably charge $40 for it, and it is what it is. But
yeah.
I don't know. I know I'm rambling. Help me
No,
out
no,
here,
no. You're good. No, you're good. You're exactly right. We're not economists. We can't. We know so little about the video game industry that the budget. We don't know how many copies does Hollow Knight need to sell at $20 for them to make a profit. For them, like you said, 3 dudes that work out of their apartments, probably not a lot. Probably 1 million copies, and they're probably fine. And that's only because this game took forever to develop, right?
Right.
And for every studio, that's going to be different. Expedition 33 did the same thing. I could throw it back in John's face that when I told him the game was $50, he said that meant low quality.
Yep,
he was wrong.
Yeah, I was.
But to that point, yeah, for every studio, the pricing of the game is going to be different. The only thing you can bet on is just you can't go crazy with the price, obviously, but you have to make a good game first and then talk, right? Like, to be a unicorn, to be that special studio, like I don't even remember the studio who made Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Sandfall or Team Cherry. You have to make an incredible game first, and then it's whatever you want, right? Like they could have charged $70 for Expedition 33, sure. They can charge $40 for Silksong if they wanted, sure. But it's only because they're, as John said, generational games, and I don't think very 0.0001% of people can do that.
And I do understand that the quote unquote gamer, right? The royal gamer is a fickle beast, right? Like that de facto guy is looking at those numbers and making those comments. But like, I believe in exploring a more fluid pricing structure anyway. If Grand Theft Auto 6 wants to be $90 because they feel it's a $90 game and that's the amount of resources and effort and everything they put into it, then that's what they get to decide. Like, the video game industry is so weirdly specific in the idea that everything that falls into this bucket is 60, everything that falls into this bucket is 30, and everything that falls into this bucket is 20. And it's just that's not the proper way to think about it. And one like little kind of final point on it is like, let's just also take a second to look at who Team Cherry is. Every single thing that this team does seems to be very consumer friendly, or at least that's what they want to be trying to do, right? We're not giving review codes because we feel like it'll be unfair for the fans to have other people play it before them.
They're in a position to not care.
Right, and so they can do these things. The interview that Schreier had with these guys were like, look, I have a 2-bedroom apartment. I'd have a 1-bedroom apartment if I could, so it's less to take care of. They're homies. And I hate that, like, similar to earlier I was mentioning something about everybody being mad about something. Like, the conversation, people are going to be mad about something, is that, like, the story now is not, wow, good guys charge $20 for an amazing game. It's, wow, good guys charge $20, screw up economy for other greedy fucks. Like, it's backwards and it sucks.
And that point was always going to be made. We had the same conversation, when Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and people are like, they're charging $60 for a game that lets you do everything and anything you ever wanted, the ideal RPG. How are we supposed to charge that amount for our games, and we can't even do a quarter of what that game's doing? It's like,
maybe you should shut down. Go away. Like, we need less games anyway.
Yeah. Like, what are you going to do? Like, it's like, again, these games come out. If these games came out every month, sure.
Right.
Like, every month was a generational game that you're just like, fuck, how do I compete with these? All these indie games are $20. Hades 2, $20. The next month, Animal Well, $20. Every best indie game comes out every month at $20. Sure. But one game over in calendar year 2025 is giving gamers a break, and it's not going to break.
I just also kind of reject the idea too that like there's even that many games out there where you show me a trailer for it and it looks, I go, okay, cool, and then you show me the release date and the price and it's 30, and I go, but then if you go, oh, it's 20, I go, oh, I'll buy it then. Yeah. Like, that's just not a thing. And if it is, and we've said this before, then, and if you're counting your pennies that much, you got other shit you need to worry about. You got other fish to fry. You probably should save your bills for the next month and then like splurge if you want. But like, it's just passing the buck, man. It's just people like just wanting to be mad, and I don't know. It's stupid.
And especially in an industry that is prices fluctuates. After you get out of the zeitgeist, when a game just releases, the price starts to fluctuate, right? We've made the joke about, I bet I can get Assassin's Creed Shadows for $30 by the end of the year, and that's a full price $70 game in March. Like, all these games go on sale all the time, and it's
I've been wanting to replay Celeste for a long time to go for the platinum, and I've had it in my wish list forever at $20, and good 3 or 4 times over the past 6 months I've went to my store and I went to press it and I just didn't, and then today $4.99. Hooray!
Yeah, there you go. So
come on, guys.
So I think and again, the developers I saw complaining about this, they haven't released a game yet, and it's just release a game, get it in the 90s, high 80s, and that at least let's approach the conversation, because if you don't, it doesn't matter.
It's a very cutthroat industry, man. I mean, I'm sure the guys at Bloober Team and whoever made Hell Is Us, when they saw the Silksong release date, fucking not happy, right? Like, they're just, fuck, what do we do? But that's the nature of the beast, and they have to believe in their projects.
And it's funny, on the other end, you had Sucker Punch say that they were on cloud 9 when they heard Grand Theft Auto got delayed out of the year.
Yeah, as a story said, they're still hungover.
Yeah.
It's good.
You know, so it works. It just works out that way. And I can't imagine making a game and then planning the release date, because you're just so afraid you're going to be in the way of the next Helldivers or Pal World, or then just the next big thing is around your game. And it's just, the joke we constantly have about the Horizon series releasing around Elden Ring and
Zelda.
Breath of the Wild. Like, whoops.
Or
you can't plan that.
Or you're the very last SOCOM game that got released, and then a week later the PlayStation Network goes down for 2 months. And you go, well, I guess that game is just DOA.
Right. You can't play it. It's impossible. So, great question, Freddie. I think, again, video game pricing will continue to be a thing, right? As these developers explore it. But
let's applaud, and I know you are, Freddie. You're not. Let's applaud Team Cherry, everybody. Let's not chastise them for giving us a cheap game. It's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, I keep teasing that this game's very long.
And the first one was 15. Like, that's not like, this is what they do.
Right. So.
Right.
And like I said, I'm not an economist. Are they selling more because it's $20 versus $30? I don't know.
Probably, but again, I don't think that's their. I think they're a team that's like, we just want to share our love, our creative thing, and you guys enjoy it, and we'll make a bunch of money and go retire. And
I did see that there, obviously there's a whole market for pirating games, right? I heard that people are gifting this game to people who say, "Hey, I want to pirate it." They're just like, "I give you $20. Here you go."
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Which
that's
is
so
something the $20 price tag allows, right?
Dude, I told you. What did I tell you yesterday?
You were going to do it for
Nick,
me.
Can I buy you a PlayStation Network card so that you have to buy Silksong? And well, why don't I play the first one? Good point. But, yeah, it's great. It's positive. There's not enough positive.
Right. Yeah. So just, a good story all around. And obviously we're going to keep checking in with John. Hopefully he said he's at a 10. He's at a 10. Can it maintain it?
Yeah, we'll see.
Can he maintain it?
What are these 6 Game of the Year nominations now, Nick?
It's funny. Do you know we keep forgetting one? Last week, I think, or whatever week it was, I said,
Monster Hunter Wilds?
No, we like for sure.
Blueprints?
No. Stop it. Bonanza and Expedition 33 are locks, right?
Yeah.
There is another lock we keep forgetting because it came out this year, and we just
Split
forgot.
Fiction.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that's lock number 3. Hollow Knight is definitely lock number 4.
It's dude. I got okay. So here's 7 games. Which one of these is getting cut? Silksong, Expedition 33, Ghost of Yotei, Monster Hunter Wilds, Bonanza, Split Fiction, or Death Stranding 2. Which one of those gets cut? And then you could even add Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in there if you want.
Yeah, I think you're putting Ghost in there prematurely, and not that it's going to be a bad game. It's just big sequel. Mm-hmm. We've seen the return on those, Doom: The Dark Ages, and other games like that. That this could a Ghost sequel could land in an 85 to 89 area, and I think that might kick it out of this.
I almost feel like, though, based on like what Monster Hunter Wilds has turned out into, that even though it was a high reviewed game, nobody's playing that shit.
Yeah, and I think I heard the PC version is still not running great on that one, but. As of right now, man,
that's a good list, dude. Silksong, Expedition 33, Ghost of Yotei, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Split Fiction, Death Stranding 2. Pretty good. Best game of the year, Noms.
Yeah, I'm just
wonder what else could sneak in there. You could get. Is Tokon in this year? No, that's next year. Yeah,
what's left for this year? I mean, Outer Wilds, Ninja Gaiden, no.
Ninja Gaiden, maybe if it's like in Bayonetta 2 levels. But yeah, it's we're getting close. Octopath ain't doing it. But yeah, I think that's kind of. And then the question remains. I think it's a race with Silksong and Expedition right now. It'd be really cool, and this is just a personal, but also I think for everybody to see Team Cherry go up and accept that award. I think that would be really cool. Just from a guys, these are 3 dudes that you go back 12 years ago and they were working some bullshit job and just had the idea of like, what if we made a game?
Right.
And then it turned into this. You know, they're going against fucking Sony and Nintendo, and
they have a very good chance because a lot of people are playing this. So
I think Split Fiction could sneak. I mean, those voters love those Hazelight games.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, the game of the year winners have been pretty awesome the past couple of years. I mean, Astrobot last year, Baldur's Gate, Elden Ring. They're all pretty spectacular games that, I could see. Yeah, I mean, Silksong or Expedition 33 would be like feel good stories, but you're right. If three dudes come out, because an indie game winning it too would be huge.
Maybe the first time. I mean, last year we got our kind of 3D platformer coming out of nowhere doing it. It'd be cool to have an indie game do it, but
okay,
we shall see.
Yeah, we'll keep checking in. That's for sure. We'll have a Silksong update until John rolls credits.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm doing about right now. I mean, weekdays are about an hour and a half a night. Weekends, hopefully a little more, but they're obviously not going to be as heavy as the first weekend was. So, hopefully this takes me to Ghost, and then I'm good. Like that's hopefully that would be a great pace. I think.
Okay.
3 weeks with it.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right. Next topic. As you heard on last episode, we had some breaking news. We were mid predicting a Sony State of Play and learned that odds are high. Tom Henderson, Insider Gaming, that Insomniac has finished a cut of a new trailer for Marvel Wolverine, a game we haven't seen since 2021. And obviously it had the leak. Insomniac leaks happen, and so there is footage of the game, running in the most rudimentary form out there. There are details out there, but we had to live react to that news. But now that it's very, very likely that this State of Play will include a Marvel Wolverine trailer, I wanted to get some predictions in, as this is one of my most anticipated games right now. Probably one or two. It's one. I'd be that guy sweating at the button in the meme with Grand Theft Auto 6 and Marvel's Wolverine, which one do I want to push?
God,
if I had to get one game right now.
Like I can feel your stress from here. Like with having to do that. I think you're pressing Grand Theft Auto 6, but you're gonna feel so bad about it. That's what would happen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, again, you can't compete with a budget of that.
I was thinking like Wolverine or Judas, but Wolverine's ahead of Judas.
That would be number
That's
three,
number
I
three?
would think. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. So those are my top three.
Well, you are the resident Marvel Wolverine guy, Nick. So why don't you?
Well, I wanted to start here.
Okay.
Is the game trailer going to end in a date?
Window.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get a spring
What
or
did we-
fall 2026.
What did Ghost get? Did it get it? It did not have a date, did it?
I think
No,
it
it
just,
didn't.
I think it just said 2025.
Yeah, you're right. It did not. No, it did not.
Even that. So no, I think it gets. I think it just gets a 2026. That's what I think it gets.
It's good enough for me.
Yeah,
that's
I
good
think
enough
it gets
for me.
2026.
So we're positive next year. There's no way they don't show it and it's not next year.
No. No. You don't. You why? Yeah, that would make it so little business sense.
Well, I mean,
Unless
the only other
Marvel's making them.
So the funny thing is when we last saw Wolverine, we saw a trailer for Spider-Man 2 as well. So the only other caveat to this would be if for whatever reason a Spider-Man project is coming before it.
Yeah, maybe. I think they have to. Wolverine and Saros have to be the next two. Maybe Intergalactic's somewhere, but
Okay.
yeah. If another unannounced project leapfrogs Wolverine, that's just poor management. I don't think they're doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so I mentioned the leaks. I know you saw it, right? You saw a little bit of it.
Yeah. I didn't
There's
go
some
crazy with it.
general things we know, right? There's more than one playable character, right? That was in the leak. Obviously, leaks change, games change. That leak was full of Spider-Man 2 DLC, which we never got. So, so that's out there. But what do you think the gameplay loop of a Wolverine game would be? It's easy, John. It's just Batman Arkham Combat.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking Spider-Man, like just because I think it'll be very similar to the gameplay style of Spider-Man for sure.
Because I mean, John is not as familiar with Wolverine, but you've seen him enough times to know. Yeah, he's obviously combat's going to be huge.
I mean, I will
Stealth
give you this.
gameplay will be huge.
Wolverine's probably my favorite superhero.
Okay,
Maybe
wow.
Spider-Man, but Wolverine was definitely my dude as a kid. Like
Okay.
Wolverine was, when you're born in 1989, like
Yeah,
he's your guy.
yeah. I'm sure you had some Jim Lee art of Wolverine somewhere.
Jim Lee?
Jim Lee, yeah, he's just a famous artist
Nerd.
of the 90s that did a lot of X-Men art.
Let's see. Yep, for sure. Looking at it.
But yeah, I would expect Wolverine to, like, again, the Spider-Man games took the Arkham combat. There's no reason why that does not work here.
Yeah.
With Wolverine and then again more of a focus on the stealth gameplay as well. That you'll just like in Ghost and Spider-Man had stealth gameplay too. What am I joking here? You were crawling through rafters. You are 100% going to have that mechanic of him clawing up a pillar, getting in the upper area,
hanging off the side of a building with his claws stuck in there, just waiting.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, to jump down and just stab a dude. So I 100% think that. I think the game will be zones, kind of like the Arkham games were, or the previous Arkham games, not the Arkham Knight where it went fully open world. I just don't think there's a world unless they gave him they'd have to give him like a motorcycle.
Yeah, I don't No, and I think that would be too, like, I can see Hugh Jackman on a motorcycle a lot, but I can't see yellow suited up Wolverine doing it. But then again, you play the Spider-Man games and it doesn't matter what you look like. It's all craziness.
Yeah,
I don't think so either. I was thinking about Insomniac and the games that they make. That's why I asked you off air about Ratchet and Clank. I agree with the open zone thing, and Insomniac does have a history of creating these little areas where you kind of go through, you collect all the things you need, and you can kind of bounce out and explore around. I don't know a lot about Wolverine or really the X-Men series to be like, what would those locations potentially be? I know he's got a lot of Canadian ties, but
yeah, I mean, he's been to Japan. I mean, he's been everywhere. I mean, and then of course you have the fantasy areas like Savage Land or Madripoor or areas like that. And I believe the leaks covered where it is. I think it was Madripoor, if I remember.
Yeah, you saying that? Yeah, I think so.
It'll be in some fantasy section, but I don't think you'll get on a motorcycle and drive through an open world and then go into buildings and then stealth gameplay similar to Spider-Man. I think you'll get on the motorcycle to go to a cutscene to get to another area and then play from there. Is my guess. And again, that is a very Ratchet and Clank. I get in a spaceship, I go to a new planet. I'm not traversing the whole planet, just a section of the planet. Do you think the game's going to be very violent? Wolverine invites violence using
No, I don't think so.
claws.
I don't think so. You might get an M rating, but I don't think it's not going to be like blood splurting out of a neck and things like
So
that.
a lot of robot kills.
I mean, it could be robot kills, or it could even be human kills, where they're just not leaning into the.
He's not decapitating them.
Yeah, you might
Claw
be
through
like
the chest.
Yeah, and you rip down, and it kind of just has the guy like crumble. But no, I think that would be, capitalistically dollars left on the table, and just not really in tune with
Deadpool and Wolverine was R. I mean, Logan R. He's been on kind of this R chain.
For sure, but I think parents, when they buy video games for their children, are extra. Like, I can tell you as a dad, I'm extra sensitive to that. for whatever reason, like, will never be the guy that video games cause school shootings, but there is something about like having your kid watch like Deadpool and Wolverine versus having your kid take a button and go like, cool, I want to stab this guy again, and go, it feels weird. So I think it would be, it'll be a little more than Spider-Man, but nothing crazy, I don't think.
Okay. All right. I guess, is there anything else to really, I mean, it's going to have the Insomniac touch, right? There's going to be all the skins. There's going to be all the Easter eggs.
What's the cameo scenario looking like here, Nick? How many X-Men are we getting? Is it going to be a fucking bombastic, crazy thing?
No. I don't think there's gonna be an all X-Men thing. I think you'll get a lot of teases of the world at large, just like in Spider-Man. You could see Doctor Strange building and
is Professor X a character?
I could see Professor X being in.
Is X-23 the other playable character?
Well, with the leak, we know who the other playable character is.
Oh, we do?
So,
okay.
I would love an X-23 just because that's a perfect skin. I mean, well, she has foot claws, so.
Ooh, foot claws.
Yeah. If X-23 was the other character, that would be fucking awesome. That would be sweet.
Yeah, just thinking like, obviously the other characters in Spider-Man is just Miles and Peter, and they're like the same exact thing, but just you can have little differences. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect it to be anything. Well, I don't know what the leak is, if I'm being honest. So, yeah.
Like I said, there's things I don't want to spoil because if that is in the trailer, that is a cool moment. So we'll leave and again, like I said, leaks are leaks. They're not finished games, so things can change.
Right.
So do you think in this trailer we get gameplay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is the gameplay trailer. This is the one where it starts off, with like a little bit of a cutscene, and you get a little, where's he going, what's he doing, and then it like cuts about halfway through the trailer, and you start seeing some fights and some stuff like that. Ends on a big bad, maybe a little Sabretooth action, and then you get your year, and then we go home.
Okay.
That's what I would think.
Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah, and then definitely a tease of the villain for sure.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, and then obviously I'm as with a lot of these projects is who's going to be voicing Wolverine. I'm very interested to see who they choose.
I can
they
tell.
Go with the
All I'll
staple?
tell you is not Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it's not. Well, yeah, is it Steve Bloom, the guy who has voiced
guy? Yes,
Wolverine a bunch of times.
Yes.
Not in the X-Men '97 show, but.
Who voiced him in X-Men '97? Didn't Steve Bloom do the X-Men like old school one, '94? Like the
No, he didn't. No, it's
Hey, bub. Cal Dodd.
Yeah, there you go, Cal Dodd.
Nerd.
I didn't know it completely off the top of my head.
I'm on IMDb and I don't know it. I don't know it either. Yeah, I don't know. I would think like one of those Steve Bloom. Hey, I can do every voice under the sun, and
right.
I still get my $2 million.
Yeah, so when the state of play is announced, if this is not there, I'm going to be so disappointed. But I'm like on like anticipation level just for the state of play is through the roof. Like once they officially say it's happening, I'm going to be like, oh man, when are they going to do it?
Who's the main villain?
I could see Sabretooth. I think it'd have to be a villain that's specific to Wolverine. I really don't think you're going to see like an overarching.
Can Sabretooth pull enough of the emotional threads out of Logan? Because I feel like he can. Okay,
yes, there's that.
But is he smart enough to like lead a movie or like a story? I guess he always struck me as like a juggernaut. Where I'm just big and fucking.
To get too much into it, he was like obviously part of like Weapon X and how he got his adamantium skeleton and all that. So like William Stryker, there's a lot of human enemies that he could interact with, and I could see one of those bigger human enemies.
Yeah. It's not going to be
the big
Magneto.
Bad, but no. Like I said, I think it'll be exclusive to Wolverine. He's had stories with like Omega Red.
What about Mr. Sinister? Anything with that?
That's more a Cyclops, Jean Grey,
Okay,
X-Men proper. He doesn't have the ties to Wolverine like other characters. So
as long as the Blob is a fight and you can't use your claws on him because he just like.
That's possible.
Yeah, I bet you that's a thing, honestly, because he's a notable villain that is kind of goofy.
I mean, yeah, again,
he'd be like the kingpin of that game, where it's like, yeah, we did the first fight against him, and
one of the cool things to learn about this game will be, what other villains are there? Just like Spider-Man, every time a new villain came up, you were like,
I really like the look of this Omega Red guy. I think that'd be cool.
It's very possible.
What's his deal? He looks fucking creepy.
He's like a Russian super weapon.
Oh, okay. All right, so you can play some political stuff. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of directions they can take this, and obviously, Wolverine's popularity will drive this game to be a big deal. I would think, even if this sits, we say it's at the beginning, I still think I would be shocked if there is an announcement that would make this bigger. but it would be funny if they did that and do like him in Tokon Fighters as well, because he's 100% going to be in Tokon Fighters.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, so maybe it'll be a lot of Wolverine in the state of play.
The year of Wolverine.
All right. Wow. This has been a lengthy show.
Yeah,
but
well,
we
you
do
got two
have
passionate topics for us.
yeah, that's true.
That's what happens.
We get our two anticipated games in one show. All right, so we're gonna have a fun final topic. It's been in the background of the show for a while. We talk about our fantasy league. John sucks and has won 3 of the 5 years.
I've won 3 of the 4 years. All right.
Well, completed years.
Nobody's
We're on
won
our
this
5th
year,
year.
so don't give me no 60% bullshit. I've won 75% of the
He
year.
has potential to win his 4th year. So I'll give it to John to explain the Fantasy Game League.
Yes. So anybody who's familiar with fantasy football and baseball and things like that, this is not quite the same. So just get that out of your head. But Nick and I decided, 4 years ago that this would be fun to do. And we did it just him and I for a little bit, and then kind of decided to expand it to more of the guys we work with. So now there's 7 of us that do it. But basically the way that it operates.
Money on the line.
There is money on the line, yes. So it gets a little heated towards the end of the year. But the way that it operates is every game has an open critic score, right? Or at least the big ones do, the ones that you can draft. 70 points is the baseline number. Any open critic score underneath that or above that will either lose or gain you points by the token of, if it's a 75, you get 5 points. If it's a 65, you lose 5 points. Pretty straightforward stuff. All the way up to a 90, which would get you 20 points, but for every point post 90, you'll gain 2 points. So, for instance, a 92 from Silksong gets me 24 points. I think everybody's smart enough to follow along there. And so we start off the year, at the very beginning of the year, we each get to draft 4 games, and then we get a $100 budget to spend over the remainder of the year to fill out the last 4 slots on our team to have 8 teams total. And then you just take the total amount of points from all those your games you have. Highest score wins. Highest, we keep it light. It's just $20, and so usually the winner walks away with
Free game.
Yeah, $60. So we kind of made a de facto rule of you have to buy a game if you win, just to kind of make it fun. But then second place gets $20, third place gets their money back, and such and such and such. But as Nick kind of mentioned with a little bit of angst in the top of this, he hasn't won yet. It eats at him more than he cares to admit. I can tell, but he's definitely set up the best he's ever been. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. Your MO typically is you don't get release dates. Is usually at least that's how it was. I think in the beginning. Because you famously have Silksong 3 of these years, 2 of these years.
I don't care if they don't have again, you draft in the beginning of the year typically. I don't care if they don't have a release date typically. I know we talked this year, what was the safer bet, right? Doom, which had a release date at the time, or Grand Theft Auto, which we had no idea if it was going to get a release date. So there's a lot of thinking to go into it. I feel like my failure point a lot of times in previous years is not following what I know, being wowed by a fancy trailer from a studio I don't know, and then placing the bid on that when they don't have any other previous games. Mm-hmm. Or have that history, or just being a game I know, right? Like a Marvel's Wolverine next year, easy to bid on. I know Insomniac. I trust them. Their track record is immaculate, so I would easily do that. So I think a lot of my failures in previous years was taking risks on games I didn't fully understand or grasp, and I was just like, oh yeah, it looks nice, and then it bites you in the ass because the league does not allow failure.
No, you get a negative game, you're pretty much cooked.
We draft as you mentioned, you only get 8 games. So getting a low 70 or a negative game is a death sentence. And in a year of years, as we get into the scores and the games we have, this year was stacked. And it's just taking 2 low reviewed games and 1 negative reviewed game, or 1 negative reviewed game. You're done. It's over.
Yep.
So
yeah. So it's but it's something we have fun doing. I get into it and out of it depending on how I'm feeling.
well, how your team's doing.
Yeah, but we're Oh, go ahead.
And to John's point is it's close. So that is why I'm more into this year than any other year, is that it is incredibly close. And as Johnny will get into, he's having one hell of a year of games. And if I could beat him on this year, probably revealing too much here to John. If I can beat him on this year, that would be incredible.
You're not revealing anything.
Like
I don't have this sinister thing where I'm trying to.
Like, not only do I want to win because I've never won, but to beat John on a year he got Silksong.
Hey, I beat you on a year you had an Elden Ring, buddy.
Yes, I know.
Buddy.
That's fine. That's in the past. We forget all about that. It would just be the cherry on top. And John and I have joked if it relied on like one game, like one of John's games in his league is a December release. If it relied on that game hitting a specific score, that would be
I think
awesome.
it will. I think it will.
That would be that would just be the funniest thing ever. Like like the tension.
I unfortunately think it's going to be like one of those where like it needs like an 89, which I don't think it'll get. But let's get into that.
Let's go.
All right, so we don't need to go over all 7 teams. I don't think. We'll just go over Nick and I's. And then
We can just mention, as it stands, John is winning. If
Yes.
the game was to end today.
Correct. So, I mean, and that's all from Silksong. So, but my team, my 8 games, my 4 drafted games were number 1, Doom the Dark Ages, number 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, number 3, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, and number 4, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. And those games have netted me 16 points, 25 points, 16 points, and 16 points. The other 4 games I have are 2 Point Museum, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, Absalom, and Octopath Traveler 0, 2 Point Museum at 15 points, Tony Hawk at 13 points for a total of 100 points with 2 games remaining. Nick, he's a strong boy, has currently only 3 games released. So his number 1 draft pick was Ghost of Yote, number 2, Death Stranding 2, then Mina the Hollower.
And correction, my 3rd draft was Judas, but I dropped it.
Yep. And Shinobi Art of Vengeance was his 4th. So Death Stranding 2 got him 20 points. Shinobi got him 18 points. And then his other 4 are Blueprints, Cosmic Invasion, Lumens Arise, and Strange Antiquities. Blueprints got him 19, which is your definite MVP right now because that one just came out of nowhere. So Nick has 56 points, but 3 less released games. So for those keeping score at home, his next 3 games, if they get a 44-point total, we will be exactly tied with 2 games released left. Now, so I think that puts Nick in a good position. And we'll keep this short. We're not going to talk about this long. Basically, I wanted to read these out to you guys at home to say, hey, write in who do you think has a better team, if there's a stupid pick, whatever. But I think Nick's set up for a lot of success right now because his next 3 games are going to be Strange Antiquities, Ghosts of Yote, and
Mina.
And those games are going to get more than 44 points altogether. So that leaves it up to, does Cosmic Invasion get a date? Huge on Nick's team.
Come on, Nintendo Direct.
Because if he doesn't get that, then he's got to fill that spot in with something else. And there's still games out there. There's still things to pick. So it's really not as bad as it seems, especially compared to some previous years where you get to this point like, everything's taken. I don't know what to do.
Right. Few are as rock solid as this game is, though.
Right. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys think at home? Again, I think what's going to happen if I were to put it all out is that, Octopath releases in December, so that's probably going to be the last game released. I think Absalom is going to be great. An upper 80s probably, an 86, 87, which is probably going to need me to get Octopath at a really high number. That's why I was really pumped for a little bit when Silksong debuted at 100. I knew it wasn't going to stay at 100, Nick. I'm not that dumb. But I was like, could it be one of those 96 type games?
Right.
And it seems that no.
Because then it's worth like basically almost 3 games at that point.
Right. 96 points gives me, or 96 would give me
28 points.
32 points.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm bad at math.
Yeah, it'd give you a lot of points. But yeah, and not to discredit anybody else. There's a guy that we work with. His name's Jack. He's sitting at 92 points with 2 games left, so he's 8 points behind me. I just have a lot more faith in the 2 games that I have. He's got Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake and Ball Pit, but Ball Pit could be one of those like sneaky boys. So we'll see.
Yep. It's either a 70 or a 90.
Yep. But and pal of the show, Nick, he's also in this with us. He unfortunately drafted Hirogami, which kind of killed him because he had Claire Obscure, which was like, ooh, look at that, and he could have snuck up there, but had a couple rough ones. But it's really fun. I highly encourage anybody who's like, if you have friends that you talk video games with, it's just another way. The same reason that I always hear people do fantasy football. I don't do fantasy football. It's a lot, but like it just keeps you more engaged in all the games that are going on, the players that are there. So us doing this kind of keeps it fun, keeps it light when a game's coming around, and you can either shit talk a little bit. But the website is fantasycritic.games. I believe it's just this one dude who built this site, and he doesn't ask for any money. It's free. You just join it. But Kind of Funny goes through it, and some other big outlets use it, and
it's customizable too. Like we could have drafted more games. You can do counter picks, so you can actually like pick like I don't know. I know Lord of the Rings Golem is going to be terrible.
Yep.
And then you would get points off of that. So there's a lot of fun league options. We kind of keep it simple. You have unlimited drops, and
we're not picking up early access games. You can do that. We're not picking up remasters. You could do that if you want. Annual releases like sports games and things. But that also just we've made this comment before, and we know we don't have the largest of fan bases, but we know we have a couple dedicated listeners, and if there is any interest in this of doing it with Nick and I, maybe next year we can run another league or whatever the case may be. We're open to what you guys would want to do.
And I'm fine, putting money on that too. Like
it makes it more fun. And, don't expect us to go. Jesse, Nick, and I have this secret belief that you're just this millionaire that lives in New Zealand, and one day you'll invite us out and we'll live on your ranch together in Lord of the Rings land. So don't expect us to with your millions of dollars to put $200 at this, but it's just a fun way throughout the year to kind of stay engaged and.
Well, I'm saying I'll put this out there. If we had listeners do it, they don't have to put money into it. I would put money into it that the winner would get.
Oh, yeah, I can dig that too.
Yeah.
I can dig that. Unless if you are a millionaire, Jesse, in which case give us a plane ticket out to New Zealand. Thank you.
Sweet. All right. Well, that was a show.
Where are we at?
Yeah, we're, hour 20 minutes.
Nice.
So
Silksong.
Yeah, the episode was everything you thought it would be after a giant release and John's oddly positive attitude. I'm seeing so many sides of him I didn't think existed in that cold, dead heart of his.
Yeah, Teen Cherry just
even the one we were talking earlier and he was reflecting on like how much I should be enjoying this. The look in his eyes, it's like God. There's just so much emotion going on through that head.
Yeah,
he feels.
I love it. Love it. Yeah, I'm trying to anything I forgot about Silksong.
Well, you'll have next episode. We'll check in for sure.
Oh yeah.
But obviously, the teases for next week. Well, obviously, Nintendo Direct. Like, what will this thing be? Will there be things to be excited about? How will they celebrate Mario's 40th anniversary? And more importantly, how well did we do in predictions?
Do we know about a state of play by this time next week?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Please.
We'll get one.
You sound so confident.
Feel it in my loins.
And then, I think the only other real tease is that pal of the show, Will, I have Metal Gear now,
yes.
So I'm going to jump back into it. I don't know how soon I want to bring it. Maybe I'll wait till you start playing it, and then we can just talk about it together, because I don't know how much interest is in it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
How much interest is in an older game like this, but maybe I'll just give initial impressions, because I know performance has been a thing, especially on PS5 Pro. So.
Oh, really? One of those?
Yeah. So
another Silent Hill 2 on our hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Konami,
good call.
What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, next episode should be pretty incredible. If this Nintendo Direct hits, there'll be a lot to talk about. So, all right.
Sick.
That's it. I hope you're out there enjoying Silksong. If you are, write in. Let us know how you feel about it. Is it as hard as they say? It'd be nice to have more than one opinion from the master of Hollow Knight games here. berating everyone for not being as good as him.
Sorry, man. It's like, you take that kid that's like been playing Madden for 17 years, and like, you give him Madden 29, and then you give it to a 12-year-old boy. He's like, this is hard. I go, what do you mean? It's not hard. You're not playing the game.
Get in the game. Yeah. All right. As always, thank you for listening. Take care of yourself. Find some time to play some video games and relax. The world's crazy out there, and video games are a great escape to get out of it. So enjoy it. And, of course, we will be back next week with a Nintendo Direct recap.
Yeah.
See you then.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.